All right. That load time. It's all good. Am I the one white screening out? No, I'm not. Okay, I'm good. Panic mode engaged. Okay. Guys, this is the best of 3, and this is game number 2, worth noting. Spawning here in the lower left corner of the map, playing for himself, or Roke Cat, I can't remember how to pronounce that name. It is the personally sponsored, the independent man known as Dimaga.
And in the top right spawn location, we have our red Protoss player sporting the team colors of Mouse Sports. He is going to be none other than MaNa.
Yeah, and a quick explanation again, if you're just tuning in, guys, Stefano and Naniwa have not been disqualified at the moment of saying this, but they're currently in the status of a no-show, so admins have been searching for them fervently, and rather than wait around for what is potentially a 20-minute disqualify, Penguin and I said, let's cast some StarCraft 2. So we do apologize if this wasn't the match you were expecting, but it's some StarCraft 2, and Dimaga is going to spice things up a little bit here, Penguin, with a 10 pool.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that definitely can work against a player that isn't going to be scouting. So I would assume that MaNa didn't scout last game, otherwise this doesn't really make much sense. We didn't get to cast that game, obviously, and Dimaga going to follow it up with a gas. Looks like he's going to be going hardcore speedling aggression. And it'll be cancel. Oh, actually, just a double cancel on the extractors. So
just extra legs he wants to get out, yeah.
This is pretty cool. Basically, what he's going to do is, I assume he'll only make actually 6 or 8 lings. There are 2 ways you can actually do this kind of a build. You can go with a 10 overpool, which is something that Hydra's been doing, or you can go with the double cancel on the extractors. And either way, you get 6 to 8 lings out, and you can try to cancel the opponent's nexus if they do put it down, or at least deny it. But MaNa is scouting the probe this time around, so he is going to be in a pretty good spot to hold this off once he sees it coming, especially with the gate expand.
Not only that, but look at where he put his gate expand. In a worst case scenario, he can fully wall off. This wasn't like hidden around the nexus, hugging the hole. I mean, there's actually a choke at the ramp that he can make. And Dimaga, you know, lings will eventually tear it down. Of course, you can't repair buildings, it's not tearing, but you can build infinite pylons behind this, keep your opponent out of the base as long as necessary, as long as possible. But these lings are coming out quick, and I don't think MaNa saw this first 6.
Yeah, he did. He saw them when they were running down the ramp. So he should have enough time to get this Zealot out. He is chrono boosting it out. He'll be able to get that wall off complete, and it's going to be difficult for Dimaga to do very much with this. However, he is going to be able to delay the Nexus, so as long as he can keep the Nexus delayed for a significant amount of time, he can get his own hatchery up and start his own economy, so he won't be too far behind.
Yeah, Zealot in a bit of an awkward spot. Dimaga, of course, wants him to come out from that hole so he can get a surround off. Trying to bait him out. Actually does get a full surround off on that Zealot with some good control. Dimaga can kill this, no problem. Zealot gonna go down, trying to chrono out a second one, but Dimaga, look at that link control, Penguin.
Really good focus fire from MaNa, actually, taking out 3 of the lings. Dimaga shouldn't have actually lost any lings to that, so a bit of a miscontrol on his part, actually, but he is in the base now, which does mean that MaNa won't be able to hide anything for now, but with the Mothership Core coming out, this should be warded off pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree that Dimaga should have lost no lings, though. It was the choke he was fighting in. It's not like an open engagement where you can pull back lings so
Well, he
easily,
actually did have a full surround on the Zealot without the Zealot actually touching the gateway, so you really shouldn't have lost any there.
Well, one way or another, he's not actually killing much with this, which is a little unfortunate. We'll try and get this probe, but it's running for its life. So unfortunately for Dimaga,
good control on the probe.
Well, I was going to say, unfortunately for Dimaga, he didn't cause any economic damage there, but look at this. Evil worker count, now getting his natural down. It's a little bit delayed as far as what a standard game would be, but what he's really got to worry about is the Stalker and the Zealot coming across the map, marching off to kill a Queen and kill an Overlord, kill some drones one way or another. Dimaga with no lings right now. 1 Queen to defend with currently. 2 on the way.
He does have a lot of drones to pull at the natural, at the very least.
Yeah, but let's be honest, you never want to pull drones if you can avoid it, and this is not a situation, I guess, where you can really avoid it. Against the Zealot, pulling drones is never fun. Against the Stalker, it's actually not a problem, but okay, does get the surround on the Stalker. Really nice there, but the Zealot will free this up really quick.
Yeah, he is going to escape, killing off 2 drones in the process. Queen about to pop, will be able to help very, very nicely. Good micro on the drones so far. Pulling the rest of them back, not losing any since the surround on that Stalker. A couple of lings coming on in here as well. They want to deny the shield regen on the Stalker.
But that Mothership Core could be a problem too.
Oh yeah. This is actually, okay, the extra Queens are coming down from the main, which is good. The one Queen at the natural would not have survived against Mothership Core after taking some hits. But now the lings are zoning the Stalkers. The Mothership Core dies.
But that doesn't exactly open a hole for a counterattack. Dimaga didn't go for gas behind this. There's no speedling run-bys. Like, he has just got a basically sit at home for now.
Yeah, he can't really be aggressive here, but the Mothership Core Snipe is still very, very nice. It's going to get him, essentially, it's 100 free gas there. Yeah. But MaNa is continuing to pressure with these two Stalkers. The Queens are going to disallow him from getting on in, but the Stalkers will make sure that Dimaga can't counterattack. But Dimaga just going to try to sneak on out with 5 lanes of his own. MaNa going to follow this up with 4-gate pressure off of the Nexus that he has completed. So he is definitely looking to continue piling on the aggression here. And with additional Queens coming out for Dimaga, I think he actually should be fine.
Yeah, this is a kind of a nice situation for MaNa too, guys. Let's not forget he is currently up 1 in this best of 3, so not in dire straits just yet. Worth noting though, guys, this is double elimination. There's the loser's bracket, so even if we're Dimaga, oh god, he slips his links right on by. Pro's being pulled immediately. MaNa realizing, oh man, I wish I had a Zealot in that hole. Trying to hide around the Zealot actually. Now the Pro's being pulled. Dimaga still no speed for quite some time. 14 more links coming out, but he needs them.
Yeah, this is gonna be a. It's a lot of units here, but I was going to say it's going to be a tough defense, but since he's no longer putting on creep tumors, he should have enough transfuses to hold with the Queens. Yeah. Here come the Lings going to be able to come on out. That Mothership Core actually should die pretty quickly to 6 Queens. He's trying to run MaNa. He's not going to be able to pressure into this, but he is delaying the 3rd of Dimaga at the very least.
Yeah, this is, by the way guys, this is about as weird as it gets. Dimaga's still going gasless. No has only just recently started taking gas here at his natural, but like this is a lot of Queens, and it looks a little funny to look at, but this is actually quite necessary. They're not so much here for the damage, although with this much Queens, you'll have a lot of extra damage, so much as they are for the transfuses, for the tanking purposes of soaking those hits. Because of course, what are you going to do? Transfuse the Zergling? I don't care how good your micro is, that's not going to be effective.
Yeah. Well, we do have 3 sentries warped on in. That's going to really be a nice addition to this force. He's going to get a few force fields on his side. But with so many Queens, I still don't think that MaNa can push in here.
No, what's really scary too is the force fields won't even be that effective. Anything that zones out, I mean, the Queens are going to take up a lot of the surface area. None of these Lings will really get locked in. We've got Metabolic Boost finishing up here shortly, but this has been 32 Lings just chilling, waiting for that extra speed boost so they can actually do something in this situation. Because the second Dimaga leaves creep with no speed, he loses that fight. No transfuse on that first Queen. It does fall, reacting a little bit late. Now good with the secondary transfuses. And like I said, they're here to soak the hits more than anything else. Focusing the Mothership Core, just barely couldn't get it. How much health that get away with? 8 health, 2 more hits would have finished that off and would have stopped that recall outright. So almost a really good spot for Dimaga. Now, I find it cute that he is investing in the ranged weapon upgrades. This will actually benefit these Queens quite a bit.
It will. He's continuing to produce Queens. He's up to 8. He's going to be up to 10 soon. This is actually, it's weird, but I can definitely see this actually being really good if he can get creep spread going. Wow, he's already going across the no creep map with these Queens. Okay, he's pulling them back now.
Well, a lot of people underappreciate how good this is too for that mid-game transition. Like, let's say Dimaga, who is going for Roaches, the natural assumption is your opponent either goes Immortals or he goes Void Rays. Well, guess what? Queens are actually pretty darn good against both.
Like, generally, with this many Queens, you would assume he's going to go Ultras, but without melee upgrades, I'm really just watching it in wonder.
But Penguin, you're forgetting this is Dimaga. This is a man who loves his Roaches.
He also loves his Swarm Hosts.
That too.
I don't know. We're not. It doesn't look like we're seeing that just yet. He's going to be pushing across with Queens. I like this decision because Queens, you can go for a push with Queen Roach and like this, and just straight up try to win against a Stargate.
Oh, MaNa recognizes this too.
But
cancels everything at the 3rd. Realizes he's going to need all those resources for defense. A little supply block right now too. That Immortal not starting. Oh god, even with Chrono Boost, that's going to be a little bit dire. That's the difference of having 2 Immortals out instead of just barely 1. Now, weapon upgrades are completing here in just a second for the Zealots. That'll be great against the Zerglings, but I mean, these Roaches aren't going to give a good gosh darn. They're going to get transfused like crazy. The Queens are going to soak a lot of these hits, and this is like the slowest march of death. 13 Queens currently on the map, Penguin.
Well,
this is going to be a cool fight. I don't know how this is going to go, but it's going to be cool. I can tell you guys that much.
Pushing up the ramp could be difficult, but the Immortals will not do bonus damage to Queens. A lot of people don't realize that Queens are not armored units. So,
yeah, they're psionic.
How many transfuses are there here? Jeez. 1, 2, 3,
is he turning
4,
around now?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's like 20 transfuses here. He's waiting for 2 more Queens to come on in. We do have a Warp Prism moving across with a bunch of Zealots. That is going to be very, very nice for trying to deal damage at the 3rd here. Good Warpins coming on in. There's not really all that much here. And Dimaga pulling everything home.
I think he's just got everything in one control group right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does. So unfortunately, the Queen's being wrapped in with this.
But it's actually okay because he's already forced to cancel on the third, so he's already getting something done. But now at 14 minutes, he's starting his lair.
This has been an odd game to say the least, guys, and it's only going to get weirder for here because you got to consider no matter what Dimaga makes at this point, that's so many transfuses. You assume each queen's going to have at least bare minimum 2 transfuses, if not more. With 16 queens currently on the map, it's going to be such a pain in the ass for MaNa to kill anything.
Well, here comes the Warp Prism once again. He's going to try to get something done. Meanwhile, the Queen's going to be trying to engage the army in the middle of the map.
On creep, they can actually do this.
So many queens.
You can kite zealots on creep. Queens do move just that little bit extra faster.
Okay, the Mothership Core has to be careful. He can't get too far forward. That's enough queens to one-shot it. He's got 15 queens out! What?
This is so odd. I wish he'd have an overseer to snipe this observer. He's been following the queens the entire time. Zealots will finally knock down this base by the looks of it. I don't know if Dimaga's got enough. Well, what am I saying? He's got transfuses up the wazoo. I was gonna say I don't know if he's got enough damage to stop this, but with like 18 transfuses readily available, this hatchery is in no danger whatsoever.
I actually think he has more like 26 transfuses right now. Like a full energy queen is 4 transfuses.
Yeah.
He has so much transfuse. I don't know, like, this is so weird. He's continuing with his double upgrades for the range. He's getting up a Spire and a Hydra Den, so he's continuing to tech. Upgrades, though, looking very nice for MaNa. He's currently sitting at +2, +3 on the way. But we'll see. He's trying to clear out some of the creep here, which is very, very important when you're playing against 18 queens.
I guess. I mean, you just lay down new tumors if you absolutely need to, but alright, looking for a fight here. Dimaga, again, guys, he's going to get force fielded off, but will it matter is the big question. Queens don't take bonus damage from anything in this composition whatsoever. In fact, I think the only thing that deals bonus damage to them is snipe from ghosts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Feedbacks are actually kind of a necessity,
anything that deals
too.
damage to biological. Archons deal
that's a good
damage.
point. That's a good point, yeah. Well, I was going to say, feedbacks would be really nice if this became a problem, but with so many Colossus, these queens might not actually have the transfuse energy to keep up with the damage. This is 4 Colossi coming on in hard, guys. The Dimaga might have 9 infinite transfuses, but when you've got basically each of these hitting you for your health bar, you've got no chance to transfuse. 10 Corruptors coming out, and this is actually going to be problematic. These Stalkers don't have they have to one-shot a Corruptor, basically, because if it lives with even the slightest amount of health, a transfuse will go off.
Yeah, they have to, and with the +3 upgrade nearing completion, that's a possibility, but he doesn't care. He's not waiting
right on top of the Colossus. Focus firing down the sentries first. A smart move out of Dimaga, and we see transfuses going off like crazy, but is it enough? Doesn't matter. The Colossus still standing strong, and most of these units zoned out, but nothing's really dying. Look at these Queens, Penguin, only just now starting to fall. But here come the Corruptors. Perhaps Dimaga engaging this a little too soon. If he had waited for the Corruptors, this may have been a different story. He's not out of this yet, but he doesn't have a lot of roaches left. It's mostly just the Queens.
He's losing a lot of these queens. He's down to only 13.
But there's no anti-air, really.
But he is going to be able to ward this off by the
one shots the freaking Warp Prism. Like, it's nothing at all.
Yep. So Dimaga defends that. He's gonna have to start reproducing queens if he wants to continue with the infinite transfuses.
What he needs to do is start getting his drone count up too. It's a little bit low for having 4 bases. This 4th will not be utilized at all.
Wow.
I mean, he just knocked MaNa down a big peg. He needs to take advantage economically, but instead fully investing in the army. 8 more Corruptors coming out. Really scared of Colossus Remax, but MaNa is making 2 Colossus at a time. This is a little bit of a weird situation because the Stalkers are going to be so busy with the Corruptors. I don't know. The Hydralisks could just win the day. As low as the count is, the Hydralisks might just be enough to win this.
Well, we will see as he moves across the map here. He's got a good number of Corruptors as well. He's up to 10. He's got 1 more in production. And still 13 queens is a lot of transfuses to have readily available to him.
And you gotta remember too, queens are only minerals, guys. There's no gas lost through queens. If you take a loss of a fight with these queens, oh well, it's the same as losing Zerglings.
Yeah. Well, here we go. MaNa gonna poke right forward, gonna try to do something damage. Transfuse is already going down. Ling's gonna be able to close the distance and force those Stalkers back for now. Still 4 Colossi though.
Yeah, this is a really good spot to go for run-bys. MaNa's trying to set up some Zealots here in the southern part of the map, but might need everything he has on the front lines. Corruptors still lagging behind. Dimaga always engaging a little bit before he's ready with those Corruptors. Now gets them to connect to the Colossus, and the Queen's still trying to push through. It's Such a weird situation, but if he keeps the Hydralisks alive, the Stalkers don't stand a chance. There's no blink on them. Or sorry, there is blink on them. My bad, but even then, I don't know if the numbers are enough. The Corruptors have fallen, but the Colossus are on the ropes, warping in tons of Stalkers now. Queen's on the front lines. Penguin, the Hydralisks are starting to melt. One Colossus remaining might be all MaNa needs.
Well,
this is looking dire for Dimaga.
Third base here, but it just looks like it's not going to be enough. MaNa with a great concave on these Blink Stalkers as well. +3 upgrades complete. +1 about to finish. GG, good luck coming down from Dimaga.